Hello, it's Willow, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. So today's gonna be a fun one, a little bit different from what we usually do. In the past I've done a lot of cow skulls, but today we're doing two new species. So in this video, I'm going to be customizing a horse skull that a customer gave to me. So that's very exciting. It was definitely a bit of a challenge as horses don't really have a lot of room between their eyes. And that is my main painting area on a cow. So that was a bit of a challenge trying to figure out how to customize it to where you can still tell that it's a skull and see it, and appreciate the beauty of the skull, but also appreciate the beauty of the art on it as well. So that was fun, kind of mapping out the face on the best way to paint it. And at the end of the video, we're doing a coyote skull. So now on my, I don't have a website yet, but on my Instagram, you can DM me if you want custom. I now offer coyotes, skunks, and raccoons. So those are three new guys that I offer. I might in the future be offering sheep and goats, but we'll have to see on that. To put a pin, it just depends on how easy some of these are easy to obtain compared to others. So we'll see. Might be a possibility. Another thing that I'm working on are bracelets made out of snakes spines. So this here is a rattlesnake and it has the ability to open and close, which is exciting. So stay tuned on my Instagram for that. I'm going to be dropping some of that stuff too. So little sneak peek. So very exciting. For the coyote, I did a new technique. I tried burning the skull instead of painting it. So that was fun. I'm letting you know now I lost quite a bit of the footage for that. Post-editing because I'm a moron. And I only have one camera battery. I know I need to buy another camera battery, guys. But when my camera dies, I go to charge it and I'll continue doing the process of the art. I forgot to film the rest of it after my camera died. But it's okay. So another thing we're going to be trying today is I'm going to be reading you guys Reddit stories while I do some art. I figured that would be more interesting versus just listening to the same 20 songs for every video. So yeah, let me know if you guys like this new Reddit reading. Right now I'm just using the microphone on my camera, so my intros are kind of crummy. I haven't quite figured out how to record with a microphone and a camera at the same time because I don't have a computer. We're working with an iPad and a phone and a microphone I got off of TikTok Shop, so production budget here it's not that high, guys. But that's what you get because I'm in college, so broke college kid budget, let's go. So let me know if you guys like the Reddit stories or if you want me to continue doing Reddit stories. What kind of Reddit stories do you want to do? This one's gonna be a bit of a mix-up. I'm just gonna scroll and find a bunch of stuff, a little bit of drama, a little bit of horror, a little bit of, am I the asshole? Am I the devil? Horror stuff, and I'm gonna throw the kitchen sink at you guys. Let me know what you guys like hearing more. Do you like hearing more drama, like wedding stories, or family stories, or do you like hearing more horror stories? And if so, do you like more real horror stories, like someone broke into my house, or more fantastical horror stories, like I saw a demon? So just let me know in the comments what y'all think, because I do read the comments. I don't have many subscribers, and I don't have many comments. So I do read every single comment and I do my best to reply. So enough of me yammering. So with that said, let's get on to the video, and we're gonna go straight into that horse commission. So okay, so this next story isn't from any particular subreddit. So someone said, "Some funny stories, please, as I need some cheering up. But here is mine. So myself and my husband were out one evening a couple years ago. We were sat in the car, chatting down by the water parked outside the pub. My husband is one of these people who likes to help all animals or insects that he can. So, as you can imagine how this story may turn out, as a forewarning. We heard a thud, so I got out of the car and a pheasant had flown into the wall of the pub and landed on the floor. So my husband immediately went up to it to see how it was. This is not an area where you would normally see a pheasant. The pheasant was fine and was a bit dazed and in shock. So, my husband decided that we should try and take it to a more pheasant-appropriate place in the car. This would be about a 15-minute drive. So I agreed, as I felt sorry for it. The plan was my husband was going to wrap the pheasant up in his jacket, and I was to have the pheasant in my lap as he drove. So we did. Well, we got about 10 minutes up the road, and the pheasant was still in shock and sat still on my lap. My husband decides it's cold, and without warning, puts the fan in the car on the pheasant. The pheasant shit itself. It was flying around the car. I was screaming, and my husband was still trying to drive. It was flapping all over the car, pooping as it went. My husband pulled over to the nearest area with grass and trees, and we opened the car door to get the pheasant out. Well, that was another 20-minute job. I know. I cannot believe the story is true either, but believe me, this was not an experience I want again. The new parasite outbreak is being swept under the rug. Springfield, 6/14/26. We all cared about the wellness check on Sunrise Avenue. Wealthy neighborhood, perfect houses, perfect lawns. The house was an old Craftsman 2-story. Every window shade was pulled. The car was in the driveway had spiderwebs along the wheels. The neighbor called the police because the owner, an elderly man who lived alone, had not been seen in 2 weeks. After knocking on the door, we walked around the house. The backyard was a mess. The lawn was completely overgrown. Weeds had infested the flower beds and were taking it over. Several trees were in the yard, shading over half of it. Lots of flies were buzzing in and out of the shadows. In the middle of the lawn, there was a blue tarp that was staked down on all 4 corners. A shovel caked in dry mud lay next to it. My partner walked over, pulled up one of the stakes and peeled part of the tarp back. There were dozens of bald spots where the grass wasn't growing. A small hole and several areas of newly seeded grass were underneath. He jumped back, and I started swatting his pant legs when he ran back over the sidewalk. Something was crawling all over his legs. Ugh. He started stamping his feet. The tiny bugs that fell from his legs onto the hot concrete jumped quickly as they could back into the shelter of the thick lawn. We knocked on the back door. It was open, and all the lights were off. The kitchen and the laundry room were perfectly clean and organized, with the exception of a thin layer of dust on every surface. There were thousands of tiny black specks in it. The dust had a faint chemical odor. It covered the floor as well. I turned on my light. The black specks amongst the white dust were dead bugs. They're like mosquitoes without wings. Just like the ones that were on my partner in the backyard. We turned on every light. The white powder was spread out over every surface and every carpet. We couldn't see any bugs if they were present due to the shag carpeting. We continued through the home until we found the old man in the bathroom. There was a variety of smells inside that turned our stomachs as we walked towards the door. Ugh. When we turned on the lights, we saw him on the toilet. His head was hung down. He wasn't moving. Several empty bottles of iodine were in the wastebasket. A moist sponge was in the sink that was covered in iodine. The old man had smeared it over his entire body, and it was stained the toilet underneath him. His skin was raised around his feet and ankles. Several places on his abdomen were broken out in bites. I put on latex gloves before I would even touch him. His pulse was very weak, barely alive, but alive nonetheless. I turned toward the shower. There was a towel covering something next to the drain. I opened the glass door. I meant to raise the towel slowly, but as it moved slightly, several of those small bugs ran across my glove. Ugh. I reacted suddenly. I closed the shower door and smashed the things on my glove. The towel was flung against the back wall of the shower. It had been covering a large mass of bugs. They were jumping and skittering as they were exposed to the light. Most of them crawled back down into the drain. A few of them were jumping back and forth against the glass of the shower door. Once they moved, I saw what was underneath them. The remains of something that looked like a newborn. The bugs had been feeding on it. My partner and I both backed out of the bathroom, and then the old man made a noise. Several patches of skin on the old man quivered. Those thin skin of his temples rose and fell. Something underneath him was moving. He raised his head, and his breathing increased. He stared at both of us. He pointed at a large open sore on his right side. "They're not me. Can't let them live. They bugs. Mitosis." Both of us had no idea what to do. Then one of those bugs crawled out of the corner of his eye and ran across his face and into his mouth. We got the fuck out of the house. We couldn't go back inside unless we were wearing protective gear. On our way out, I noticed that the thousands of black specks spread out in the white powder were gone. As we ran past the back lawn, we both saw thousands of bugs jumping within the grass. My partner swore that he felt like bugs were crawling on him, despite there being none that I could see. That was a month ago. The old man died in the hospital. Organ failure and severe dehydration. The investigation found that it was a newborn in the shower. No evidence of trauma present. When the backyard was inspected, the tarp was removed and dozens more bodies were found that had been buried within the last 6 months. And again, no evidence of trauma was present. All of the remains were newborns, and all of the DNA testing came back to the same for every single one of them. Identical. They were all genetically identical to each other and the old man. Not a single bug was found that matched our descriptions. None of this has been reported. Swept under the rug. My partner was institutionalized by his wife. She found him in the work shed, taking a wire brush to his legs. saying the bugs were making something inside of him. His wife had been denied and detained by the government officials, so were several of her neighbors. I'm sure I'm next. Everyone in my family keeps feeling it. The skitters underneath our skin. We just know something has to be growing inside, just beneath the surface. Okay, and lastly, for some fun, we're gonna get into some People of Walmart stories, just as a funny haha, like, laugh gag thing at the end. So these are all, like, really short, so I'm just gonna read, like, multiple in succession, and then edit out cuts, obviously. Okay. I worked at Walmart in the garden department, briefly in the 90s. I'm going to take a break and walk past the deodorant aisle, and I see this huge guy, like maybe 350 pounds, in a wife beater, put on some deodorant, put the crap back on the shelf, and I told my manager about this, and he said it happens all the time. We had to ban a guy once for taking the motorized scooter into the family washroom, get wasted, and shit his pants. Edit. Yes, I realize I worded this poorly, but it makes me giggle, and I'm going to leave it like that. When I used to work there, I was standing up at the front once, and an old man came up to me with his shit-covered underwear in his hand, saying he had an accident. Then I followed the shit trail all the way to the washroom, where it looked like a shit bomb went off. Ugh, good grief. I worked in maintenance there. One day I was out retrieving carts when loss prevention called out for help. She caught our pharmacist stealing a bottle of dish detergent. He struggled hard, way harder than the situation called for. During the struggle, the pharmacist's jacket came off and numerous pill bottles scattered across the parking lot. He had a good scam ruined by $2 bottle of dish soap. My mom worked at Walmart for about a year. She actively liked it as she was more active, but she decided to quit after the jewelry department manager had a meltdown and started throwing jewelry at customers. One old lady got pelted in the head with a heavy ring box, and it was over. Turns out the manager was selling the jewelry to friends and family, but would keep boxes and stuff with them with rocks and trash so the inventory would stay the same. She had the meltdown and was caught. Oh yeah, I have a similar story. The kids weren't disabled, but a mom came in and dropped off her 2 sons, I would guess that they were maybe 5 and 8 years old, off at a GameStop while she went to shop at the Walmart across the road. She left them there for 3 hours. One of them pulled over a 4-way shelf by climbing on it and nearly crushed his brother. So I made them leave because I couldn't deal with the possibility of one of them hurting themselves. I told them to go across the road and go talk to the greeter at Walmart, and that he'd help them find their mom, because they were not allowed to stay in my store anymore. Mom came back a little while later to yell at me for daring to make her children cross the road by themselves. I threatened to call CPS for child abandonment. My personal opinion, you should have done that after 10 minutes. Whatever. I worked in a neighborhood market in Tennessee. One day a heavy storm rolled in as I was pushing carts. I was pushing in the last row, and I saw a man walking towards the entrance, and since it was raining, it looked like he was wearing a white suit with a yellow polka dots. I go inside. Turns out it's a very thin SpongeBob onesie, and he wasn't wearing underwear. It was not a good day for my eyes. This one is old, so I'm probably wasting my time, but I worked in the garden center at Walmart, and we had our own gate entrance, as many other garden centers do. Since we had our own gate entrance, we had our own greeter. Let's call him Dale. Dale was in an electric wheelchair and was a Vietnam vet. He had an accident after the war that involved his neck, so he was pretty much quadriplegic. But his arms did work a little, and he could check receipts with them. Dale took nobody's shit. So we would always fuck with him to get him going. Our favorite move was to sneak up on him, and when he was sleeping, and jack up his wheelchair with a pallet jack so he couldn't go anywhere. Dale took his job very seriously, and one day someone tried the old Walmart Dash with a big-ass stereo system, but they had no car waiting outside. So I'm pretty sure they figured they could just get out the door because of Dale's condition. But little did they know, they was fucking with the baddest Walmart employee they had. Dale tore after this guy through the parking lot in his chair, nipping the backs of his heels with the metal footrests. The guy had no choice but to ditch the massive box and full-on sprint away from our attack quadriplegic. Dale then got in front of the box and pushed it with his footrests all the way back to the store, as happy as he could be. Man, I missed him. Rest in peace, Dale. Shout out to Dale. He sounds like a crazy employee. Alright, I think that's all the stories I'm going to do for today. I might cut a few of these out, so... Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you liked the story time along with the painting. I know, like, when I speed it up and I like go through the editing, it looks like it's done so quick. Realistically, it took me around 6 days of painting. Like, if you were to sit down from like 10 in the morning and do it till like 5 in the afternoon, like 6 days of those kind of days. And then it took me about 3 days to clean this. Usually I will boil these guys in aqua silk, but this customer wanted a rustic look, so they liked the way the skull looked kind of aged. So I didn't do that, but there's still like a lot of a cleaning process, a lot with these skulls, because again, they were living creatures at some point. So a lot of people don't realize there is a taxidermy process to an extent before I can start doing any art or sketches or anything. They have to be cleaned, so it takes about a couple days for that. For this guy in particular, since they really wanted an age look, it took longer. It was about 2 to 3 weeks of soaking it in water with Dawn dish soap and then emptying out the water and filling it up, and you just keep doing that over and over. Then there's the power washing, and I did give him just a light boil with like Dawn dish soap. I didn't add any other chemicals in, so I can preserve that aged look. So all in all, this one art piece alone is about, give or take, like 8 to like 10 days, give or take. So I mean, I do take breaks in between each project, as that is important. You know, don't work yourself to the bone, so to say. But you know, a lot of these projects are like labors of love. It does take a minute, so for those of you who want to do a commission or are thinking about doing a commission, just know that I am a one-man team, so to say. I am a real person. You know, I'm a college kid and I'm going to college, and I've got all this, you know, life, you know, school, work, all that stuff. So for reference, I can't exactly feasibly sit down like 6 days in a row back to back for, you know, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours sometimes. So that's why I tend to do these on the weekends or whenever I have spare time. But yeah, cumulatively, these are definitely 30 plus hour projects, easy, 40 plus hours if you include like probably 30 to 40 hours just on painting, probably closer to 50 to 60 almost if you're also including like the cleaning process used to do all these, because it takes about a day to boil these. I boil and simmer these guys for like a whole day, like to get them clean and ready to be painted, and not to mention like quite a few hours of power washing too. Usually I'll get them all together and power wash them all at once, so it does take a bit longer versus if I was just do one at a time. But yeah, it's a lot of work for these, but I really do enjoy it. And every one that I finish, I kind of wish I can keep them all. In a way, I'm like, gosh, they all look so cool, and I love every single piece I do. I really kind of almost want to just keep them all. But, you know, obviously I can, but that's just, like, to the level of, I'm so happy with these projects and the way they come out, that I want to keep them myself. So I know, like, the customers I know for a fact they'll absolutely are gonna love them, because I myself love them. So that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you stay tuned. I know it's been a really long time since I've posted. Again, I'm in college, and it's just like, you know, working and all those things, so I just have not had time to make another YouTube video. I'm trying to make like shorter ones. Like my first one was like an hour long. I don't know why I thought that'd be a good idea. I don't know, but I hope you guys like these more like short form, bite-sized content. If you guys really like them, I might be able to put out once a month, hopefully. Maybe we can work our way to that process of, you know, having more of a schedule for putting out videos. So let me know if you guys really want to see that. I think I can make it happen, but we'll see. I don't think I have the follow count right now to do that once a month video, but I don't know. Hopefully I can at some point in my YouTube career. But yeah, let me know if you guys like this story time, what kind of stories you enjoyed. I tried to do like a couple of short ones. This video is kind of short, so it's kind of hard, as the stories I get are kind of long. So, but let me know what you guys enjoyed, like what stories you liked the most, what stories you want to hear next time, if you want me to continue doing the story time. So perhaps, hopefully next video I can do maybe like 2 or 3. I could also do maybe 2 or 3 projects, in one video instead of one. Just kind of like, give me like feedback. I have like no followers. I have like no viewers, so I literally read every comment. There's not that many to go through, tragically. I don't have hundreds of comments to read, so I may not respond to every single comment. I mean, I do my best, but not every comment I feel needs responding. But yeah, just give me like your thoughts, your opinions, what do you want to see next, what you liked, what you didn't, just kind of like general feedback. I read every comment. So, and stay tuned till next video. Don't know when it'll be, but stay tuned. I will make another video at some point, so